So the first P was product, and the second P is price. And in this lesson, we're going to be talking about your pricing strategy and thinking about it kind of in a holistic way. So when you think about your price, there's the cost of your product or service, but then it's also thinking about how your customer is going to pay for this. Is it something that they just purchase directly, or are they going to rent this? Are you going to lease, do a lease to own? We see social enterprises, especially with higher priced products, that they'll do a lease to own model. Or is there something else? Another pay-as-you-go is another a way of pricing now that we're starting to see social enterprises adopting. Also, are there things that you need to put in place, so perhaps partnering with an MFI in order for your customers to be able to take out a loan from an MFI in order to acquire your product or service. And then when you're thinking about this, you need to think about it, and this sounds obvious, but oftentimes we forget this, that this has to be a good deal. Your price has to be a good deal both for you as an enterprise and for your customer. Oftentimes you think about, people ask, well, is pricing an art or is it a science? And to be honest with you, it's a bit of both, right? And we see a variety of ways of pricing products. The most common with the social enterprises that we work with is what we call COGS plus a margin pricing. And what that is COGS stands for cost of goods sold. And so what does it cost for you to build your product or deliver your service? What's your all-in costs for that? And then plus a margin. So for instance, if it costs you $20 to build your product, and then you want a 20% margin, so you use $20 plus the $4 for your margin, so your total cost and your total price rather would be $24. So that's a COGS plus a margin way. Another way of doing this is to look at comparable products and services in the markets, the geographies in which you're serving, and then see, what do they cost, and kind of lay it out and say, and this is where some of the art and science comes in. You do the survey of pricing, and then you say, well, because I've got more features or benefits, then I should have a higher price or lower price or whatever, but basically doing it that way. A third way of doing this is using value-based pricing, and that is to say, well, by using my product or service, I'm saving them 2 hours a day of their life, and so an hour is approximately $100 for kind of the value of that, and so they should pay $200 for my product or service. So it's basically using value-based pricing. The fourth, and we're not going to be talking about this, is pricing elasticity, but basically that is to set up different pricing in different geographies to understand, if you change the price, how does that impact your sales volumes, in order to see if you can drive better margins. Like I said, that's starting to get more advanced, and so we won't be talking about that in detail in this module.